Hey guys, Reza here from Budget Audio Reviews. Today I'm bringing you the C Audio Yume. So this guy has been on a hype train for the past couple of weeks. We are now in the second week of February, just before the Lunar New Year, before Chinese New Year in Singapore and in Southeast Asia. I decided to get the C Audio Yume because I auditioned it once at audio.sg about slightly over 2 weeks to 3 weeks ago. I can't quite remember when it was when it first arrived in Singapore, and then I said, hey, maybe this is something that I can explore on my own. So about a week ago I went by to purchase this on my own. So this is not a sponsored unit, it's fully with my own money, and I'm very thankful that Audio allowed me to have this set early. I think because it's not probably released on the market yet, I'm not quite sure, but I think a lot of you guys already know what it looks like out there in terms of what comes in the packaging, the sort of tuning, the accessories and all that. So we'll dive right into the sound quality. So I wasn't quite sure in terms of the marketing material that C Audio came up with, which was they were talking about the Harman 2020 tuning. So I thought, hey, okay, cool, Harman, I think it's probably one of those neutral-ish type of tuning. So during the audition at Audio, I was able to take a listen to it about 15 to 20 minutes or so, maybe maximum half an hour. So what struck me was the amount of detail that this guy had, and the amount of sound stage. So it sounds very wide and the instruments are very well separated. The only thing I did not consider then was what was this tuning for. So I thought that this was okay for most of the EDM, synthwave kind of tracks that I've been listening to a lot lately, like Starcadian, Pilot, and a whole lot of those EDM music. So I thought, hey, okay, I could give it a go. So I purchased it without knowing. So I took this thing home and I drove all the current tunes that I'm listening to, the current tracks I'm listening to on the C Audio Yume, and to my dismay, that it didn't turn out the way I want it to be. So between this and the Tri-i4, the Tri-i4 is more of a well-rounded IEM. So the C Audio Yume unfortunately is not tuned specifically, should I say it's not tuned as an all-rounder. It's tuned specific to certain genres only. So strange enough, it's not on the marketing material. So if you flip the box and you read the details of the box, you will see that okay, it says here, based on Harman Target 2020, fine-tune the characteristics of the drive to meet the target curve and the overall smoothness, especially optimized for DD vibration, ultra-low frequency sound domain response. The sense, okay, this is the key part here, the sense of hearing is more transparent and smooth. So this part, I think C Audio could have made it a bit clearer, more transparent and smooth, specifically for acoustic music and vocals, because the only post or specific thing that mentioned about genre specific genre specific music that the Yume is tuned for is on a post last year, 25th October 2020. So I had to dig right through all the Facebook posts, because Daniel from Audio managed to send that post to me, and I said, oh, okay, now I finally understand why the Yume didn't work for EDM and synthwave, right? By the way, guys, sorry if you see the lights flickering. I think maybe the battery from the lights is running a bit low. Let me adjust that light down a little bit to conserve some battery. Yeah, so this guy is probably not tuned for that sort of music. Then on the NBBA group, I gave this guy a 3.5 as an overall IEM, and I decided to take it a spin again about a night or two ago, specifically for vocals and acoustics. Now, once this guy went through vocals and acoustics, that's when the C Audio Yume really shone. Okay, it shone for tracks from Dinah Krall, Natalie Merchant, Adele, and for male vocals, Seth MacFarlane. I would say from a clarity perspective, this thing is super duper clear. It's very, as mentioned in the box, it's transparent and smooth. So let's get to the sound quality or the sound type. Okay, for the timbre, it is natural but a little thin because the bass is tuned in such a way. So you get good sub bass, meaning you get to feel that rumble down low, but it disappears very quickly. It doesn't have body in terms of the mid bass, and then it goes to the vocals, which is the mids, which carries very well into the upper mids, into the treble region. The voice of Dinah Krall is well extended into the air. Her voice sounds very airy, so it depends on what you think is the right sound for Dinah Krall's voice. I think the right sound for Dinah Krall's voice is a little bit thicker and fuller. That's why I preferred the Tri-I4. But if you like airy extended vocals into the treble region, then I think the C Audio Yume is good. So let's get right down to imaging. Very precise, very sharp. I get every single detail of the music that I want. So if you talk about detail retrieval, micro details, every little thing that you're hearing, cymbals, maracas, chimes, plucking of the guitar strings, piano even, you can hear every single detail that's coming out right of music, and you can pick out every single part of the music in the air, in the acoustic space of the earphones, and I thought that's very brilliantly done. Bass wise, we talk about soundstage, very wide soundstage, so you're hearing soundstage from the extreme left of my ear all the way to the extreme right of my ear, and I'm able to pick out specifically where all these instruments are in this space, left to right, up and down. So the Yume has very good height in terms of its tuning, so it's got good height. Depth forward, the stage goes forward just a very little bit, but I'm very impressed with what's going on side to side, up and down. Okay, next we talk about bass. Yes, we understand that the sub bass is firm. You get a good feel of the sub bass to give a little bit of body to pianos, to drums, to the kick drums, but the bass doesn't spill over into the mids. It doesn't go into the mid bass, so there's no fullness to that bass sound. There's no firm thump. You get the th, but you don't get the hump. So that's the thing about the Yume. So you don't get that body to the music. Okay, so you don't get that body to the music. Next thing we talk about mids. So vocals are again very well extended into the air. You get very natural tone to the sound, but they're just a wee bit thin. So again, if you like that airy sound, to your music, then yes, the Yume is it. I did mention a little bit of metallic sheen on the NBBA post, but I kind of removed it because I listened to it again. It's not as metallic as I thought it was. It's just thin. Metallic would be like the categorised, if that one has a metallic sheen, or worse still, maybe like the cheap IEMs like the Nice HCK Bro that has a very metallic sheen. Next we talk about trebles. Yes, that's when the Yume is king. So the Yume is king from the trebles. Alright, so some may say that the graph looks weird. I can't really read graphs properly, but it's the first IEM that I'm listening to that I can shift my listening, maybe focus to the treble region. So I can camp in the treble region instead of mids and bass. I can shift my focus from upper mids to treble region and just enjoy the music in the treble region. So you get to pick up a lot of details, you get to pick up a lot of shine on the cymbals, chimes, even the airiness of the voice, guitar strings you can enjoy between the nylon strings to the folk guitar strings, steely strings, on the highest spectrum of the sound. And the best part is you don't get really that fatiguing sound, that really tiring sound that maybe some other treble heavy IEMs have. So in terms of treble tuning, I think the Yume did a very, very good job. Okay, what else? We talk about fit and isolation. So the design of the Yume, I think the shell is very well designed. It fits into your ear and it seals everything all the way up very well. So you get a nice good like almost a vacuum-like seal on the Yume. For the sake of this review, I have focused my attention on the stock silicone tips. These are the L tips. I did try the foam tips. Foam tips kind of killed off the treble a little bit. It somehow also killed off the mids, made it a bit more furthermore recessed, and you know, bass didn't get enhanced. So and that air and the clarity and the soundstage all disappeared quite a bit with the foam tips. So back to the silicone tips, you get a lot more air on the sound. So to wrap it up, the Yume, it was a disappointment for me because I was very used to that neutral warm sound. But I think as someone who's doing reviews and someone who's giving opinions about earphones and gear, I think I should be thinking about the wide audience as well. Some may prefer more bass, some may prefer more mids, like myself, and some may prefer trebles, air, clarity, and imaging. So I think the Yume, for what it's designed to do, again, they sound like very, very good speakers designed to play this sort of sound, the transparent and smooth sound, designed to play that vocals and acoustic guitars with a high level of clarity, imaging, and separation. Okay, so I think the Yume did well on that part. So for Singapore, $225 for that sort of sound, I think I would pay that kind of money because it sounds like really good speakers coming from the left and right side of my ears. So it sounds like, you know, I have good speakers driving from here and here, coming right to the center, and the imaging is so good. I can pick out every single details. So the Yume did a great job there. Even the i4, the Tri-i4, which is the next most expensive IEM that I have, which is by far 3 times cheaper than the Yume. Again, the imaging and the separation of the i4 is accurate, but it's blobbish. But the blobbish in the sense that the i4 has, for example, cymbals and chimes. You know it's somewhere here, but you can't pick out the spot. But this guy, the Yume, you find the cymbals, I know it's there, and then the chimes, I know it's there. I know that maybe that nylon string specific to that melody is right there, so I can pick out very specific details and location of the sounds. Yeah, so the Yume is next thing is we talk about value. We talk about the shell, beautiful shell. I do love the cables. The cables are very very thick and pretty, and they are tactile. It's not too stiff, which is good, because if I put it and run it through my body from my pocket, side pocket of my cargo pants, these guys are okay. They don't feel too heavy and bearing on my ears. Next thing, we talk about the container. A nice container here for you to carry. So that container is pretty cool. Nice, good padded container here. Alright, so your IEM, your Yume, is well protected in this container. As a package, the Yume is, I think, now I come to think about it and manage my expectations in terms of the sound type and sound quality and what it's designed to do. Yes, I think I spent good money, and I have changed my mind. Within the first 2 days, I really wanted to sell this immediately on Carousel. Now I will keep it for specific listening purposes. Alright, so for specific listening purposes, for example, again, purely vocals, and if I have acoustic guitars that I want to listen to, cello work, like Yo-Yo Ma's cello work, it's great. Again, they are very clear, very natural sounding, but just a little bit thin. So if you're into EQing, maybe you might be able to EQ this guy. I'm not familiar with equalizing sound as yet, so maybe those who are familiar with equalizing sound through your players, go ahead. I think you may be able to optimize the Yume further. If not, if you enjoy that sort of airy, clean, transparent sound that's specific for vocals and acoustics, is great. Again, not for EDM, not for synthwave, not so much for pop, not even for guitar shredding work like Vinnie Moore and Ingrid Malmsteen and all that. They can get quite hard in your ears. Okay, in terms of drivability, I've been driving them very comfortably with the Bluebird U3 Mini here. Alright, so these guys have been doing very well. I don't have to get back to my monolith liquid spark. Just the portable amp is good enough, and I can enjoy my music with this through my Samsung S10, and also maybe the Samsung USB-C DAC that helps to enhance the quality of the sound. If you want a more laid-back sound, a more chilled sound, a more warm tone to the sound without that sort of very precise clarity, then I might suggest trying out the Apple USB-C dongle DAC. So that would be a very well matching pair to the C Audio Yume to kind of tame down that sort of high level of clarity, which may be a bit difficult for you at times. So for me, it depends on my mood. I could switch this around, and between the i4 for more chill listening to the Yume for more critical, more precise listening. So I will go for the Yume for that more critical and precise listening. So I've changed my mind a little bit, because I realized that, hey, if I'm buying headphones for specific purposes, then I could buy IEMs for specific purposes. If I'm listening to the Sennheisers for a specific kind of sound, then I listen to the Sennheiser for a specific kind of sound. The Audio-Technicas for one, maybe the Hi-Fi-Mans for another. So it depends. It depends what you hope to achieve with your listening pleasure. So again, thanks so much, guys. This is a bit lengthy one, because I've been posting with the hashtag on Instagram that the C Audio Yume is hashtag it's complicated. It's like a complicated relationship. You have to work it out a little bit more with this one for you to enjoy it. So I've learned how to enjoy this one. The tuning is great. It sounds very good. It's just that initially my expectations was not matched according to how it was tuned. Transparent and smooth. So that's the guy that I missed out. Unfortunately, I think C Audio missed out on their marketing material to share about the appropriate genres that the Yume could perform the very best. So thanks, C Audio. Thank you, Audio Singapore, for sharing this Yume with me and selling it to me early. And thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for spending time with me. I'm still in my hasty review mode right now at home. I don't have a fancy setup, just that gimbal stabilizing the camera on the table and a small light to my left here. So thanks, guys. Do hit that like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. We'll see you real soon.